What is up, everyone? Darkside Phil here, and welcome to episode 30 of Ask the King. I know it's been quite a long time since I've done one of these. It's been about a month and a half. And now we're getting back into the swing of things where we have a consistent schedule. There aren't any significant holidays or anything coming up anytime soon. So you can expect an episode of Ask the King to come out about once a month for the next several months. Usually around the end of the month. I usually try to do it on a Thursday, which is a slower day. So, tentatively next month, it'll be about 30 days, so about March 28th, I believe, is the date I've set for the next episode. Now, this is the second episode of Ask the King that I'm doing exclusively on the King of Hate vlogs. If you're not, aware of the series, because I know it's been quite some time since I've done an episode, this is the series where I answer fan mail questions. You guys send me questions via a thread on my forums on thekingofhate.com. And also the day of, when I'm actually filming this, via Twitter at TheyCallMeDSP, and also on Facebook. So I've gotten quite a lot of questions. I'll be honest, these are some really good questions. Please bear with me if I end up going on tangents and such, as I tend to in this series, because these questions are really good. I like to elaborate on a lot of the answers. So without further ado, let's jump right in, because once again, as usual, I've got 3 pages of questions. I accidentally didn't turn my stopwatch on, but I actually have a clock right in front of me, so I know roughly about how much time I have before I have to stop the video. So let's get started. Okay. First question. Phil, will you try out the Wii U version of fighting games if they let you use a Wii arcade stick? I know for a fact that the Wii U version of Tekken Tag Tournament 2 does let you use one, and many other Wii U fighting games in the future will let you use it as well. And that's from Ranzer, Super Street Fighter 4, or SSF4. Interesting question. Now, the first part of this question has to be, do I even plan on playing fighting games? Because let's face it, there's like no new fighting games coming out besides Injustice for this entire year. Like, there's nothing been announced. Last year was like fighting game overload between Tekken, Dead or Alive, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, Persona 4, Skullgirls. There were like literally like a ridiculous amount of fighting games that came out last year. I don't know why they all came out in the same year, but this year there's nearly nothing besides Injustice, okay? But I think he's interested to see would I consider playing a new fighting game on the Wii U. The answer is this: if there were features exclusive to the Wii U that I would be interested in checking out, okay? If there was a reason for me to purchase a fighting game for the Wii U, I would. But the bottom line is, there really isn't. For example, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, the first fighting game available for the Wii U. What were the exclusive features? Nintendo costumes. And power-ups that let you grow huge and small. Like, they were jokes, they were gimmicks. It was nothing to do with mainstream gameplay. It didn't add anything to the game. Why would you want to buy that version of the game? Okay? If in the future the Wii U gets console-exclusive fighting games, yes, I might check them out. If there's a reason to buy one on the Wii U, yes, I might check it out. But for now, what I'm seeing is the Wii U, unfortunately, is behind the curve. You just had the PlayStation 4 announced, and the Wii U is looking like it's going to be left in the dust as the next 2 versions of the PlayStation and the Xbox come out with new technology, better graphics, and the Wii U is going to be a last-gen console. Nintendo really screwed the pooch here. So, my answer is, unless there's a reason, no, and being things as they look right now, I'm not so sure that I would be buying them for the Wii U, simply because the next-gen consoles are going to be out, and that's probably what I'm going to be buying all the games for. Okay, next question. Hello, Phil. A week before you and John Rambo leave for Wrestlemania, can you two do a Wrestlemania simulation? So that way it's easy to do, instead of getting back from Wrestlemania and saying, oh crap, now do it after the fact. And that's from TMP1114. Interesting question. First of all, to explain what he's talking about, this year, John Rambo and I have planned a WrestleMania weekend. Meaning we have a trip planned where we're going to be traveling to the New York, New Jersey area for the weekend of WrestleMania, okay? Which is the weekend of April 5th through 7th, I believe. What we're going to be doing is attending a Ring of Honor taping, the WWE Hall of Fame, WWE Fan Access, and WrestleMania. We're going to be attending all those events, and we're going to be vlogging the entire time. So we're just like we do with our trips to conventions and other things, we're going to be making constant video footage of everything going on at these it's not really a convention, but at this event, okay? And it's going to be very fun and interesting. I think people are really going to like it. So what he's saying is, are you going to be doing WrestleMania simulations? Well, I actually just talked to John Rambo about this past weekend, and we said we're going to try to squeeze in, like, the last thing that we do before we go to this WrestleMania weekend is to do WrestleMania simulations. So if we drive into that area Friday night, maybe that Friday during the day, John will be here, we'll do the WrestleMania sims, we'll upload them to DSP Gaming, and then we'll head out and start our vlogging. So that's probably what we're going to try to do. I can't guarantee anything to anyone, but that's the rough idea. Also for that trip, I can't guarantee that we're going to have video footage up over the course of the weekend, simply because the hotel we're staying at, we have no idea how good the internet's going to be. If it's shitty, and we can't upload, you know what I mean? But we're going to try, and I'll have more information on that as it approaches that first weekend of April, okay? Alright, next question. Hey Phil, before your back problems began back in 2007, what did you used to like to do for fun that you can't do now? And that's from Baseball Boy 2036. Really interesting question, because a lot of people don't ask me that kind of stuff. I used to like to do athletic things. I used to like to, for example, it was funny, the week that I really found out that my back was messed up, I actually played a game of touch football with my friends at a local park. And that was really the last seriously athletic thing that I did, because I ran around all day playing football. It was touch football, by the way, not tackle, so it wasn't like I was getting thrown to the ground and that's what hurt my back. And at the end of the day, my back was in excruciating pain. And that was really what prompted me to eventually go to the doctor and see what the hell was going on with my back, because it just never got better from there. It was just always in pain, and that's when I found out. So physical things like sports and stuff I used to love to do, I can't do them anymore. The other number one most notable thing that I used to love to do and I don't do anymore is drive places, okay? I used to drive everywhere. I'm talking locally. I would go to Massachusetts, to Rhode Island, to New York, to New Jersey, for tournaments, for Street Fighter and such. I used to travel like crazy for Street Fighter. I've driven all the way as far down as Maryland, Virginia in one shot, you know, 9 to 10 hour drives we're talking. I've driven everywhere on the East Coast, and I used to love to do it. I would be the person who would drive all of my friends. We would carpool, and I would drive us to tournaments and events for Street Fighter. And once my back got injured, that was the end of that. And unfortunately, a lot of the people in this area just kind of fell out of Street Fighter because I stopped driving people to events. And it's unfortunate that's what happens. But, you know, now there's a whole new group of people in Connecticut playing Street Fighter. Ever since Street Fighter 4 and all the new games came out, a whole new group of people were invigorated and are playing Street Fighter. But I've kind of fallen out of the scene, and I think a major reason why I kind of fell out of the scene was because of my back. That's just the honest truth. Okay, next question. Hey DSP, I was wondering, have you considered reviving your movie review videos? Now that you've got a new vlog channel, since you'll be cutting back on gaming a bit, I was wondering if you'll take time to review whatever films you see in your off time. Some great summer films will be released this year, and it'd be great if we can get your take on them. Thanks a lot. That's from You Can Show 919. Here's the bottom line. I like having a vlog-only channel. I am struggling at this point to actually even do the things that I want to do with this channel. I still have a gaming news show I want to do, and I still have that idea back in the day with DSP that I still haven't had a chance to implement, because I am still finding myself playing games quite a lot during the day. And when I do get a chance to finally catch up, and okay, I have a day where I don't have to do gaming today because I have enough video footage archived, I end up doing game reviews, like The Hateful Truth, and that takes me several hours now because I put video footage into it. So really, I'm not sure what to do at this point. Would I like to do a movie review series here on the King of Hate Vlogs? Absolutely. But I don't really go to the movies. I don't. The last movie I saw was Silent Hill. Whatever the last Silent Hill movie was, I forget what the name of it was, but I saw it with my girlfriend around Halloween, and we did incidentally review it here on not on the King of Hate Vlogs, but we did review it for people as part of like the Halloween special that we did. And the bottom line is, movies have become way too expensive. Everything about them. People on fucking cell phones, people with babies. It's like, it's ridiculous. Why are people so disrespectful? When I was younger, I remember going to the movies and I didn't have that shit, but now that there's the dawn of technology, oh, I have to be on my cell phone 24/7, a bunch of assholes ruining the experience for everyone. And so really, I find that I do enjoy watching movies at home with my big TV, with my surround sound, better than going to the movies. And I don't see the reason of going and dropping over $20 to go see a movie when in 5 months it'll be on demand and I can watch it for $5 and have a better experience at home. Could I review movies that I see at home? Absolutely, but who wants to see a movie review for a movie that's been out for 6 months? You know what I mean? So that's really why I haven't been into the whole movie review thing. I've thought about it, but being that I don't really go to the movies actively, that's why I haven't done it. A lot of people this month for Ask the King have started asking me about live streaming. They've been saying, listen, Phil, it's all the rage right now. Most of the major YouTubers who are doing gaming are doing live streams. No, not for everything, but they are live streaming certain things and events. Will you do it? I'm going to be honest with everyone. This is the first time I've talked about this like this. I'm considering adopting live streaming and or direct capture in the near future, and by no means am I saying it's going to be everything that I do. By no means am I saying that I'm completely changing the way I'm doing stuff. I'm saying that I may start fooling around with it soon. I've talked to John Rambo. He's told me that basically it's just the technology that you would need to do it is easy to purchase, at least. For adjustment of video settings and things, it might be a little bit more tricky, especially with XSplit and other programs and things that I'll need to use. For me, the key has been this. I play video games on my couch with my big screen TV with surround sound. In my opinion, and I think that anyone who has this experience, people will agree, that's how you're supposed to experience video games. You're not supposed to be hunched over in a tiny little computer chair, staring at a small PC monitor with headphones and a microphone on. That's not how you're supposed to play video games, okay? That's not how they designed the games. Why did games have 5.1 surround sound with orchestral soundtracks? You know what I mean? And it was funny because I made a tweet a couple weeks back when I was playing Dead Space 3, and I said, gee, you know, the surround sound of my system is really saving my ass in a lot of cases. How do people play these games without surround sound? Aren't they constantly dying? And someone made a comment, oh, Phil, don't you realize that there are headphones with surround sound? To which I say, what? Why would I want to experience headphones with surround sound? If I want surround sound, I want the sound to be around me. I don't want simulated surround sound in headphones. For me, being that I've had surround sound since, like, seriously, since 2005, I've owned my speakers and the receiver and my setup. It's like, I don't know, it's like, it's Greek to me. Why would people want to do that? You know what I mean? So for me, I don't get it. That's not gaming to me. That's like a nerfed version of gaming that you're only doing it so you can do direct capture and you know, that footage for YouTube. It's not how the game's supposed to be experienced. So for me, my challenge has been, how do I do streaming and or direct capture but still retain my experience of sitting on my couch with my surround sound? And what John and I have kind of devised is that if I get a microphone that can get a surround sound kind of feeling, meaning maybe a microphone that I'll put either right in front of me on my coffee table, and that can capture the audio in the room, and so we use the microphone's audio for the video, but we use the direct feed footage. Maybe that's the compromise that we make. We get the same audio quality that I have now using a camera, but we use it with a microphone, so that way you get the same, in the same room, audio quality that you get right now with my videos, but you'll still get direct feed quality footage. So we're dabbling around with all this, and the bottom line is, if I can get the equipment together in the next few weeks, maybe I'll start experimenting with it with live streaming, maybe when John's here, or with some playthroughs, and see how it works out. And I'm not saying that, you know, this is something that I'm going to definitely do and adopt, and it's all I'm going to do, but I think that a lot of people, unfortunately, this year, 2013, have said, well, Phil's not doing direct feed. Literally every other YouTuber is, because they're sitting at their computer squinting and playing like this, which isn't what they should be doing if they're real gamers. But that's how they're doing it, and they're all doing direct feed, and now everyone's saying we like direct feed, and it's like the new fad. If you don't do direct feed, you're not the in crowd. You're not, you know what I mean? You're a relic. So maybe it's time to adapt. I don't know. I have to see what I can come up with. Financially, money is not the issue. It's the viability of doing it. It's the fact that I'm not a video editor. I don't know even how to use these programs. The fact that I'm hoping that XSplit can do this live and not have to make me do additional video editing with the audio and all of that. So I don't know. I'm considering doing it. I've been talking to John Rambo about it. I'm going to have further talks with him this week, and we're going to see what happens, okay? So there's a possibility I may actually adopt live streaming. I'm interested in it, but there's no guarantee, and I'm going to be trying to dabble with it in the next couple of months. Okay, next question. Dear Phil, I've noticed that Howard isn't in a lot of your videos anymore. It's because something happened, Or do you guys just have different schedules, meaning that you just don't meet up as much? I'd love to see him in some of your co-op playthroughs again. P.S. Please tell me it isn't because he knocked over your camera again. And that's from Ace of the Pack. No, there has not been any falling out between myself and Howard or anything like that. It's a couple of factors, okay? Number one, Howard doesn't have those Super Turbo gatherings at his place anymore. A couple of years back, he was having them frequently. Super Turbo was part of Super Battle Opera for a couple years, so we had a lot of people going over to Howard's house, and we had a lot of social interaction in that. He doesn't do that anymore, and I don't know if it's simply because Super Battle Opera isn't having Super Turbo anymore. I don't know if something happened with his girlfriend that he lives with, and she was pissed off at the gatherings. I have no idea. But he basically doesn't have people over to play Super Turbo anymore, so that was one way where I definitely had contact with him a lot, and I don't anymore. Number two, Project 7 has unfortunately fallen through the cracks. Any of you who are fans of mine who have been following along and you know Project 7 last year was this big web series that we had, comedy gaming web series that was very successful, had over 1 million views in the series itself, and it was growing and it was getting better. Unfortunately, the people who we were working with to film and edit can't do it anymore, and so that series fell through. Howard was a main character in that series, so there was another thing where I was always interacting with him. We were having meetings, production meetings, we were filming, and I had interaction with him, and that kind of fell away, okay? Number three, Howard has a new job. He has a new job where he has to commute quite a lot, and he's busy quite a lot. So you even know, if you're a follower of Howard and his channel, as you know, Howard Showcases is his channel on YouTube, by the way. He does do live streaming, but it's not consistent, meaning he doesn't have a consistent schedule when he can do it, and that's because of his job. So basically, he's really busy. So it's not that I, have actively not talked to him and we didn't have a falling out. It's just that things happen, things change. Our lives change. He's a lot more busy with his job now. We don't play Super Turbo anymore, so the chances that we had to interact have diminished drastically, and we really don't have that kind of constant friendship anymore. Now, if there were a game where he was interested in doing co-op, for example, if there were a Transformers game, he loves Transformers. But if you remember last year, Transformers Fall of Cybertron, they took the co-op out. So the game that he would have been interested in doing co-op with, they took it out of the game. So it just hasn't been an opportunity for us to do co-op. Now, this may change in the future. There's a lot of co-op opportunities coming up. We'll see what happens. But as of right now, I haven't even really talked to him that much. I saw him once in December. I ran into him at the mall, and we said hi or whatever, and that was it. Like, we don't really have a chance to talk that much anymore. And unfortunately, stuff like that happens with life. Alright, next question. Hey, Phil. Can you refresh our minds about the incident where you got fired from Best Buy because you tried to purchase 2 consoles with the employee discount? I know that you made a thread about it on SRK, that's shoryuken.com, which is 100 years ago I made a thread about it. But that thread is long gone now that there have been multiple software changes that occur every couple of years. The thread got deleted. Can you retell the story? And that's from Jolly African American. Sure, and I'll make it short and sweet, but basically, back in, I think it was around 2006, 2007, I worked for Best Buy. Now, I wasn't just a regular store employee. They actually hired me because of my college degree and my expertise in electronics. They actually had hired me to work on the business team. Now, what this was, it was called Best Buy for Business. It was a brand new initiative that Best Buy was starting nationwide, where there would be a team of experts in the store who knew more about technology than any of the regular employees, and it would be our goal to try to sell multiple computers, networking, this kind of stuff to small business owners, okay? So we'd be trying to find people who own their own business and sell them laptops, computers, networking, and we actually had the Geek Squad. There were some people in the Geek Squad who were part of this. If you don't know, the Geek Squad is the people who do like computer repairs and installations, and they would be trained highly to do networking, and we'd actually have people go set up networks and stuff for businesses. Well, I worked for them for a little bit under a year, okay? And what ended up happening was within the course of that year, Best Buy spent way too much money on the promotion. Then they found out that a lot of the people who were involved in the promotion were corrupt, meaning some people were actually going out and getting contacts with small businesses and then doing consulting for them on the side rather than doing it through Best Buy, undercutting Best Buy, and therefore Best Buy was getting screwed. And bottom line is, within a year, Best Buy said, this was a bad idea, we don't want to do it anymore, we're paying the people who are on this business team more than anyone else in the store besides management, and there was a lot of conflict. So what Best Buy decided to do, instead of doing the right thing and saying, okay, listen everyone, we screwed up, we're going to try to get rid of Best Buy for Business, and we're going to dissolve you into the stores as management, they tried to find ways to fire and lay off the people who were on the Best Buy for Business team. So they actually tried to frame me. Yes, Best Buy, this company who everyone goes to and shops, they tried to illegally frame me and say that I abused the store discount so that they could fire me and basically get me off the payroll. So here's what happened, okay? Basically, there's a store discount when you work for Best Buy, and it's pretty good. It was basically the cost of whatever the item it was that you were buying, plus a certain margin for shipping and storage costs. So when I was there, I bought a lot of stuff. In fact, I just talked about my surround sound system and all that. I bought that stuff when I worked at Best Buy because it was a huge discount. So a lot of stuff I purchased completely legitimately under the store discount. Well, all of a sudden they said, we got to figure out how to fire Phil. What do we do? What did they do? Well, at that time, during that year, I was actually one of the tournament organizers for East Coast Championships, which at the time was the largest tournament on the East Coast of the United States. It was considered a major at the time. And I was one of the co-organizers along with Josh Wigfall, who's a well-known player from the New York area. And I was basically getting all of the resources together, the monitors, the consoles, everything. And so that year, all the games were still being played on PS2. This was before PS3 had come out, okay? And most of the major games occurred in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Capcom vs. SNK 2. This was back when those games were still actively being played in the tournament scene before Street Fighter 4 had come out. And they were all being played on PlayStation 2. So I only had one, and I needed to buy more for the tournament. Now, per the store discount policy, it says anything you buy for the store discount has to be for your own personal use. You can't buy it and give it as a gift. You can't buy it for your friend and give it to them. These were for my own personal use. In fact, I still own them. I still have these PlayStation 2s in my closet. One of them is actually currently hooked up to my TV, and I have 2 more in my closet. So they were for my own personal use. The fact that I was using them for a tournament was beside the fact. So I bought them with my store discount. Did I even ask for my store discount? No. Whenever someone who's a store employee bought something at the store, they gave you your store discount. So I purchased these 3, and guess how much money I saved on these consoles? 40 cents each. And that's because, if people who don't know, is that when retail stores sell consoles, controllers, anything that's hardware, they don't make any money on it. They actually sell it at cost, okay? It's the software that they make money off of. So the store literally, 40-cent discount, I saved no money on this. I bought these consoles, a week later I come in and I'm suspended, go home. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? They said, we can't talk to you about it, you're suspended, go home. So then I get called, come in a week later. I come in a week later, the store manager's in his office, he has a meeting with me. You're fired for abusing the store discount because you bought 3 PlayStation 2s with the store discount. I said, how does this make any sense? I saved 40 cents each. This is ludicrous. To which he basically said, I can't talk to you anymore, get out of my store. So I filed for unemployment, and if you can believe it, Best Buy tried to deny me my unemployment, saying that they had terminated me for violating the store's discount policy. So we had a hearing. That's right, I actually had a hearing with a judge, to which I said directly to the judge, I said, do you really think I would jeopardize my job for 40 cents on 3 consoles? Like, it's $1.20. My job for $1.20. Like, are they out of their fucking minds? To which Best Buy really had nothing legitimate whatsoever to say at all. And the judge actually laughed at them in the hearing. He said, you guys are out of your minds, you lose, Phil gets his unemployment. So I did get unemployment for a couple months until I found another job. But that's the story. Basically, this is what I mean when I talk about corporate America and what people don't understand. You know, we talk about places like Ubisoft where the game developers are worked like slaves, and the next thing you know, the game gets delayed for 6 months because they want to make it cross-platform and the people get screwed. You know, corporate America treats people like tools, like shit. They don't treat people like people. They will step on you and use you and abuse you and throw you the fuck away when they don't need you. That Best Buy for Business team worked their asses off for a year to try to make the team work. Best Buy did not support that team whatsoever, and then they tried to illegally fire people for reasons that made no fucking sense. This is how corporate America treats people, and that's why when I talk about the economy and that there are no jobs and the jobs that are out there are horrible, this is what I mean. But people don't seem to understand. They think, oh, as long as you have a job, everything's hunky-dory. No. It was terrible, and it's a horrible experience, and it's funny that, you know, it's funny because I'll tell you right now, when I go to Best Buy, the only stuff I buy is stuff on sale that I know they're not making money on. I go buy the DVDs that they sell for $3 because I know I'm fucking them. Because that's how you should treat these corporations. They mistreat everyone, and they're just horrible, horrible places to work, to be involved in. The management is terrible. You know, everything about it is terrible. Let's make a business team, and within a year, oops, we didn't support them properly or give them enough support, so just fuck everyone and fire them all? That's what the top management at Best Buy said. Gee, I wonder why they're failing now. Probably because your business model sucks and your management's terrible. Okay, let's keep going because I got quite a lot more questions to go, and I'm running out of time for part 1 here. Next question. Are you okay with having younger fans? I've been subscribed to you since middle school. I'm now in high school, and I was wondering if you're fine with having young and polite subs. And that's from Booyaka Dragon. Listen, obviously my content is deemed towards more adults. I swear a lot. You know, I make crude humor. But the bottom line is this. If you think you can handle a rated R movie, you can handle my content. And I've been watching rated R movies since I was like 12, okay? It all depends on the person. I'm perfectly happy to have younger fans. That's awesome. I mean, gaming is, let's face it, for the most part for a younger audience, even though now times are changing and it is being catered more to an older audience, younger kids love gaming too. I love having younger fans. You just have to understand that the stuff that you see here on my channels is for entertainment purposes. This is not me being serious. Oh, look at her titties and stuff like that. This isn't stuff you say in the real world. This is stuff that you joke about. And it's meant to be entertaining and a joke. Don't, by any means, act like an asshole like I do sometimes in my playthroughs. And that's all I have to say. If you're a younger fan, understand it's all for entertainment purposes. If you can understand that and not take it seriously and laugh, then it's cool that you watch my content. Okay. Hey Phil, are you going to play Capcom's new game Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for the Wii U, which releases on March 19th? That's from Vermilia. I thought about it. And the bottom line is, I'm probably not going to play it for a couple reasons. Number one, I've never played a Monster Hunter game, and I've actually heard that the Monster Hunter games can be kind of difficult to learn how to play, especially if you've never played one before. Number two, that week is the week that God of War Ascension comes out, and incidentally, it's also the week that my girlfriend's going to be visiting me, so it's already got to be a short week for me. Actually, no, I take that back. I don't think it is the week that my girlfriend's visiting. No, it's not. I'm looking at my calendar right now. But I think that's the week when God of War Ascension comes out, and it was also, I think, StarCraft, which I may be skipping. Now I'm not so sure. Hold on a second. I'm too far away from my gaming calendar to actually see. The 19th. Oh, I take it back. Alright, the 19th is the week when Gears of War Judgment comes out, and that is the week when my girlfriend is going to be visiting me. Therefore, it's going to be a shorter week. I'm going to have to beat Gears of War Judgment within, say, 2 days. And so, no, I will not be playing Monster Hunter because I just won't have time. I'm going to be busy. Okay? There you go. Next question. Phil, with the new console generation on the horizon, looking back on this console generation, what would you say were the best and worst parts, the most memorable moments, and when it was all said and done, how do you think you'll remember this generation as a whole, and what do you want out of the next-gen consoles? And that's from JC15U2. What I'm going to say is this generation, I really feel that games matured, meaning that you saw that games aren't just about being kiddie shit anymore. You could actually have a serious subject matter, like Heavy Rain or the Mass Effect series, which unfortunately, I do have to say, out of all the games, the first one was probably the most serious, and then they became more action-oriented to be more mainstream, but you had games like Heavy Rain, like the Uncharted series, like Mass Effect, where you had games where the narrative was a more adult-oriented, and it was really for a more mature audience, and it showed that games can actually be big money makers versus everything else, like movies and TV. Previous to this console generation, I really think people were like, video games are for kids, and now it's more like, wow, video games are for everyone. So this console generation definitely achieved that. Also, I do want to say some big graphical jumps this console generation, to the point where some games looked almost photorealistic, and I really enjoyed that. Where do I think this console generation went wrong? Two major things. Number one, gimmicks and motion controls. Everyone was so focused on the Kinect and the PS Move and the Wii's fucking gimmicky bullshit, they even had an entire console in the Wii that sold based off of a motion control, and now that it's not cool anymore, Nintendo's failing. So it's way too much focus on gimmicks rather than on good content and good games. And the other thing, DLCs gone wrong, meaning DLCs were a good idea as the internet upgraded and they became available to be patched and stuff, that was a good idea to have DLCs as an expansion, and the